He made a 76-year-old man climb 30 flights of stairs with a full backpack on his back, just to prove a point. The security guard said the elevator wasn't for people like him. He laughed as the old man walked away, slowly, limping. But what he didn't know was that when the man reached the top, he would pull out a badge that would make him tremble. Tell me in the comments which city you're watching from. I love knowing where these stories are reaching. Edward Collins didn't expect to be treated like royalty. He never did. At 76, he was used to being ignored. He dressed sharp, wore a tucked-in shirt, kept his shoes clean, and carried the same weathered black backpack he had since the early 2000s. That morning in downtown Chicago, he arrived at the municipal building to drop off paperwork for a youth outreach program he helped run in the South Side. He didn't complain about the metal detector, didn't argue about the ID check, and didn't react when the young security guard raised an eyebrow at his laminated visitor's badge. Badge looks old. The guard, Darren, said. You'll need to take the stairs. Maintenance is on the elevator system. It wasn't true. Edward could hear the ding of the elevator down the hall. He glanced at it, then at the man's face. He understood exactly what was happening, but he nodded, shifted the weight on his back, and started climbing. It wasn't just 2 or 3 flights. It was 30. Concrete steps, dim lights, no AC. After the 5th floor, Edward's knees began to ache. After the 10th, his breath shortened. After the 20th, he leaned harder on the railings, but he kept going, stopping only when absolutely necessary. His shirt clung to his back. The backpack felt heavier, but something deeper than pride kept him climbing. Discipline, resolve, maybe a lifetime of being underestimated. Meanwhile, downstairs, Darren sipped his coffee and laughed to his co-worker. Dude said he was with some non-profit or something. Thought he could just walk up and skip the line. You gotta earn your way in this building. They chuckled, like they'd done something important. When Edward reached the 30th floor, he stood quietly outside the city program office, trying to collect himself. The receptionist's eyes widened. Mr. Collins, you walked up here, she asked, alarmed. Why didn't you just use the elevator? He smiled. Apparently, it wasn't working. A call was made. Darren was summoned. He walked into the office with casual arrogance, until Edward opened his backpack, pulled out a badge, and placed it silently on the desk. Department of Justice, Federal Investigator, retired, with active clearance. Darren froze. Edward didn't raise his voice. He didn't shame him. He simply looked him in the eye and said, I used to train people like you. The first thing I taught them was never to confuse your position with your purpose. The silence in the room said it all. Darren tried to explain, tried to apologize, but the city director stepped in, furious, and had him escorted from the floor. Edward handed over the papers for the grant, turned to leave, and nodded at the receptionist with the same calm he walked in with. 3 days later, Darren showed up at the youth center where Edward volunteered, not in uniform, just in jeans and a plain shirt. He asked if there was any way he could help. Edward said yes, but warned him, you'll have to earn their trust. It starts by climbing with them, not above them. Over time, Darren kept showing up, fixing lights, carrying supplies, helping kids with homework. Slowly, they started calling him Coach D, but he never forgot the day he made a man climb 30 flights of stairs and what that man taught him without ever raising his voice. Comment: the word humility, if you believe real strength comes not from power but from how you use it, especially when no one's watching. There is a story here on the screen that will also move you. Press to watch. You won't regret it.